Forget everything you know about RVs and travel trailers. This is a Peak Mountain Camp. Built different, built tougher, built to feel like home. Stay with us as we do a walkthrough of this trailer and show you some of the features and things that set this apart from anything else on the road.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and walk around the exterior of this one. Just give you a brief overview of what we're looking at. As you saw in the introduction, these are built different. There's a lot of different things. You can see the front door, the rounded roof. I've had all sorts of comments, whether this looks like a train cart, Twinkie, whatever. But a lot of it, it's not a new concept. These have been around for quite some time. And there's some brilliance behind all of these things. The rounded roof, shedding the water off to where you don't have any water pooling on it. It's got a Dutch door, the front door, the use of space, different things like that. Those of you that have watched the channel, you know about a lot of these things, so I'm not going to go into great detail about them. We'll just do a brief walkthrough of this exterior, and then we'll get on to the inside that all of you want to see. So all of our camps are going to will come equipped with two 7-gallon or 30-pound propane tanks. This does come with the cover on it as well. It's easy to access all of your valves as well as your regulator. So super quick, simple to be able to use those things. I do like the design of this new cover. It's quick, it's easy. I like it. On our deck up here, we can do these with, well, you'll actually see one in one of the next upcoming videos. We can do these with four-wheeler decks on them, porches, different things. This one is just a standard, nothing fancy here, but it also features this storage area. So these grates will actually pull up and you can store tire chocks, different things. I don't know if you can see, but I've got all my cranks in there for my stabilizer jacks. So keep all of the gear in there that you don't worry about being in the elements, but you also don't want to eat up all of your interior storage space. So really nice feature there. These are a 2 5/16 ball, and then they're adjustable couplers. So this one has a 15,000-pound coupler on it. I failed to mention the size of this one. This is an X30. The X meaning it's our widest model and the widest one that we can legally do. So this is 102 inches exterior, which is legal width. We do offer some that are a little bit narrower and stuff, but for most of you that won't apply. We don't build a ton of those. So this one is kind of a standard one. So an X33, I don't have a weight on this one yet, but I'm just going to base this off of similar camps that we built. This one's probably going to weigh in right at about 10,500 pounds. So not your lightweight trailers that you're seeing people go with, and a lot of that is these are over-engineered because I want them to be able to handle whatever you throw at them. Our axle packages are 7,200-pound axles. These are 10-ply tires, 16-inch wheels, 8-lug. I mean, we build these to last a lifetime, and so there's a big difference between these and any of your other travel trailers, and that's each one is custom built to you, and we build everything from the frame up. And so axle placement, tongue weight, all your weight distribution stuff, it's all calculated into that build to where not only do these pull good, but they just thrive in every environment. So back up here to the front, like I said, as we got an adjustable coupler, we can really fine tune that to your truck. You match that with an adjustable hitch and you can really do some damage. So they do have the fold up steps. So this will fold right up and lay right over the top of that grate. So you can do that as you travel. It's still low enough that your front door clears it, so you can still open and close your front door as you travel if you're throwing in groceries or anything that way. This is kind of a traditional thing, the broom holder. I have had some comments before that we've thought of everything. You even put a garage on the front for my wife's car. I don't know if those people are still married or not, but I kind of thought that it was funny. It does have the Dutch door, as I mentioned, so split top half. And it does latch. So it allows you to open that up. Like I say, a lot of this stuff is traditional. This was for regulation of temperature when you're using that wood burning stove to be able to regulate that. Nowadays with screen, sliding windows, screens, all of that stuff, fans, yeah, I don't know that you use that much, but it is kind of cool, especially when you get in a cool location, to be able to open that up and see the lake or the mountain or whatever you are. As we move around, we've got stabilizer jacks on all four corners. This black enclosure on the bottom, that is for our heated tank setup. So our holding tanks are enclosed, and then heat ducts are plumbed in from the furnace, allowing you to pump warm air in there, keeping those tanks from freezing. And then there's also a circulation fan that allows you to circulate the heat from the wood burning stove down into there as well. Suburban 6-gallon water heater. This is our outside shower. So you've got hot and cold. It's got a quick connect set up, so you hook your hose up to it, half a turn, and it's set up, and you're ready to go. All DOT marker lights. This, I always forget to talk about this. This is your wood box, so this feeds through all the way to the inside, allowing you to put all of your wood, kindling, lighters, whatever in here, and then you don't have to drag it all the way through your trailer, getting everything dirty. You just put it in there. And one thing that I like about this too, when I do clean the wood stove, I can keep my ash pan or ash bucket in there, clean that stove out, put it in there, and then the next time I'm outside, be able to grab that and go dump that. So that is kind of cool. These are a double sealed door, so you've got a bulb seal around the inside lip of that, and then you've also got one on the door itself. And then these are adjustable keyed latches, so they lock. So as you can see, as I push that down, it cinches that door right in tight. This is a fresh air intake for the wood stove. That allows you to get all of your combustible air from outside of the trailer. Because these trailers are sealed so tight, you'll end up starving that wood stove for air if we didn't do that. So kind of nice that way. Also, you're not deplenishing the air inside the trailer. Your spare tire, and this is on a crank as well, so it drops down just like your truck would on a cable setup. And then as we open this one, we have just a little storage area. And these can be set up with pull-out cookers, so whether it's a Blackstone, Camp Chef, anything like that, they can be set up to do that. This is our Starlink setup, so if you're interested in doing Starlink, we have your Cat 6 or your RJ45 connection. So it's basically sending up your antenna, and then on the inside there's some setups in there too to where you can hook everything up. This is a coax port for another antenna if you want to just run a strict antenna for your TV or anything that way. Solar panels. We do 200-watt solar panels standard on all of our camps, and we will get questions frequently why we mount them on the back, why we mount them on the side. Well, a lot of that is we're trying to get the longest life out of these trailers as possible. So anywhere we can avoid putting holes in the ceiling, the better off we are. And just to give you an idea of what these produce, right now they're shaded, and I'm still probably getting 21 to 22 volts out of these. In direct sunlight, I'll get 25, 26 volts. So not a huge difference. I mean, yeah, probably negligible that way. This one they did set up with ports on it to where they could add solar as well down the road, or if they decide, say they get in a real shaded area, they can actually put up a mobile panel to where they can put it out in the sunlight. So we can do all sorts of different things as far as solar setups. This is set up to where you could pull doubles with it, or bike racks or generators, whatever you want to do there. It is set up with a 7-way plug that is also wired with trailer brakes. So if that second trailer does have electric brakes on it, that will work with your brake controller. This is our freshwater setup. This is a 42-gallon freshwater tank. And same thing, we've got options as far as whether you want more water storage or anything that way. We do one standard, but we can do two, or whatever fits your needs. So easy winterization setup. It's just a matter of turning the valves, putting antifreeze in it, and pumping it through the lines. As we move to this side, this is going to be your battery bank setup in this compartment. So this one has 4 6-volt AGMs. This is our 3000 watt pure sine inverter. And then you've got all of your setup as far as your battery disconnect, your solar controller, fuse block, everything that you would need that way. So nice and neat, stowed away. You don't have to do anything with the solar or anything on this. It takes care of itself. So then we've got our water fill. This has got your city water connection as well as your fresh water. So whether you're boondocking or at a campground, you're set up to do either. And then it's also set up with a 30 amp service, allowing you to plug in, whether it's generator, shore power, whatever that way. It's 25 feet long, so you can stretch it out, do what you need to do there. 30,000 BTU furnace, more than adequate for what this trailer needs. And then these are just your fridge vents. And then this little thing is your dryer vent for your washer and dryer in this. So we'll go ahead and go in and show you that. Only other thing, I guess, is there's your waste gates and everything. You can see how high they are, depending on what you set up as far as tires and things that way. Our standard camp with our 6-inch frame is going to come in just about 30, a little over 30 inches to the bottom of this angle. So very good ground clearance. You're not going to snag it up, even on a camp this size. This one would be, like I say, an X33. So you'll actually be 28, just under 28, 27 feet as far as living space, and then 33 feet from the bumper to the tongue. So for that long a trailer, I would put it against any of the RVs that we have here on the lot. So plenty of ground clearance that way. Just really nice overall. So anyways, let's go ahead and go in, see what it has to offer. All right, so let's go ahead and go in. As I mentioned in the intro about these being different as far as build quality, I think you're about to see why. Those of you that are familiar with the channel know the quality that goes into these trailers, the products that we use, all of that stuff. So we're just going to go through the colors real quick. This one has an antique bourbon pine for the wall colors. And then the cabinet color is a Brazil wood. The countertops are a Belle Noche. And then the flooring is a Haitian oak. The recliners are a chocolate brown. And then the cushions are a briar brown. So now that we've got the color combinations and everything out of the way, we'll go ahead, start up in the front as we do in all of our camps. And we'll just kind of give you a little walkthrough. So as you can see, this changes a little bit from some of the traditional ones and some of the camps that you've seen recently on the channel. This one they've equipped with washer dryer combo. I've been getting a lot of questions regarding this setup. A lot of you that are full-time living or extended stays, whatever it may be, this is a nice option for you. It also has plenty of storage, so hanging storage, as well as storage below. This one they've set up with a boot area where they can keep all of their wet goods and everything underneath here. And then as you move up, as I mentioned, this is a Brazil wood cabinetry, so you can see this is all hardwood. So this is an alder cabinet or alder doors, as well as face frames. And then we go through, finish them in whatever color you choose. A lot of it, this has become a really popular color. Lots of character in it. It turns out really nice. Kind of has that cabin feel. Big open storage here with a closet rod up above. So this is lighted as well, so be able to see in here. This is high enough too when you hang stuff that we could put an adjustable shelf in here where you could store stuff down below, whether you do pants or whatever in there. These do all have our soft close hinges on them. As you watch as these close, all super smooth. That's what I mean. These are all high end. We don't use any of the 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch cheap stuff that they use in the travel trailers nowadays. This is all either 3/4 or 1/2 inch material, and like I say, all solid wood. So this is that washer dryer combo. It's very efficient, and you can see it's really good size too. As far, I'm guessing you could even do blankets and stuff in here without much issue. So really nice feature. Like I say, for those of you that spend a lot of time, and even if you have the ability to be hooked up to utilities and things that way, that's where this is really going to shine. Now granted, we set all of these up to be able to boondock, and so this one is set up with an inverter, which would have been an upgrade for these customers. But that allows them to run this even without being plugged into a generator or shore power. So they can run that regardless of where they're at. In this one, we've got more hanging storage. And then it's also got all of your hookups and everything for that washer and dryer. So everything's really easy to where you can shut it down, winterize it, unplug it, whatever you need to do, everything's accessible for you that way. And that's one thing that we've learned through working on travel trailers is a lot of times if you have issues, there's not a lot of ways to fix it other than tearing cabinets out and stuff that way, especially water lines and electrical stuff. They tend to run things in the walls and wherever else. So we want everything to be accessible to where if you ever did have an issue, it's easily resolved. So this one has the elevated fridge freezer combo, meaning that we put the furnace below it, allowing us to raise that up to where you don't have to bend down to get the stuff in the bottom of the fridge. Makes it really nice that way. I will say the downside to doing this would be up above where we would generally put the microwave, a built-in microwave. Now, that being said, this one's wired for a microwave. We wire them all for microwaves. They can add a microwave down the road if they want, but the built-in one, it doesn't give us enough room with the arch of that ceiling to do that when we elevate this fridge. But I would say it's a good trade-off. I think I'd be fine with a smaller microwave and to be able to get that up. This is a two-way fridge, so AC as well as LP. So they can run it on auto. That way I like to plug the trailer in before I leave, fill it full of food, get that cold, and then as soon as I take off, I switch it over to propane and run it on propane. So, but as I mentioned, this will be set up. As you can see, there's an outlet in here, so it's set up to where they can do a microwave easy enough. As we move further towards the back, we have a propane gas lantern. that's super nice. This actually will take a lot of the chill off in those colder months, colder mornings, evenings. You can light that off. It gives super good light. And like I say, it also warms it up a little bit. So it's nice to have options. This does have all LED lights in it. So to be able to have two sources of light as well as two sources of heat just gives you some options that way. You got your stereo set up with the entertainment package in this one. This one's got your USB ports. It's set up for satellite radio, all of those things. You can stream, do all of that stuff with it. It does have the CD player if you still have a bunch of CDs kicking around. And then we have our monitoring system. This will show you all of the levels of your tanks as well as your battery voltage. So makes it really nice that way. As you can see, we're getting an alarm telling us that our fresh water tank is empty. That will go off at 25%. And then we also have alarms on our black and our gray tanks when they're at 70%, telling us it's time to think about dumping. As we move down, these are some of the things, some of the options I guess you can do. You can do cabinet lights. The recirculation fan is going to come standard in all of our camps. And then the last three are for 12-volt tank heaters. So those are options. They didn't add those in this. The circulation fan, what it does is it allows you to circulate the heat from the wood stove throughout the trailer to keep those tanks from freezing, because like on this one, it does have a heated tank enclosure, as I mentioned, on the outside. But in the winter, say when you're running your furnace, it's pumping warm air down into that enclosure. But chances are when you're running the wood stove, that furnace is satisfied as far as the thermostat. And so it no longer needs to run because it's warm in here. And so this allows you to circulate that warm air. You probably can hear that come on. That allows you to circulate that warm air from the wood burning stove throughout the trailer, keeping those tanks from freezing as well as keeping the heat nice and distributed throughout. You've got your water pump as well as your water heater. This is a gas-only water heater, 6 gallons, as I mentioned, on the outside. Very efficient, and a lot of that, both with our water heater, our furnace, our tank heaters, all of those things, we've found them to be very efficient. And it's not so much that it's the product itself. It's we've enclosed all of those things in an environment where they can succeed. And so good RF values and our insulation and everything. That's one thing I don't talk about a lot is the construction and stuff. But for example, this camp will have a 7-inch floor, and it'll have R19 batting in the floor. It'll also have a 7-inch interior ceiling or ceiling thickness with R19 in it as well. So really high quality R values, thick. We don't get the heat loss that you would in an RV. These will hold temperature for long periods of time. They're just very efficient that way. And you see it in the appliances and how efficient they are. As we move over to this side, this is our 3,000 watt pure sine inverter. So this is like if you're using electronics that are of any value, TVs, laptops, anything like that, and you want to plug them in, you're going to want to make sure that you have a pure sine. If you do a modified sine, you could risk damaging those. So what this does is this allows us to have AC power to all of our outlets, our microwave, our fridge, our washer and dryer, all of those things on the fly without even plugging into a generator or shore power. Now, there are some exceptions in what you can do with these. I mean, like I could turn it on right now. Let's just turn it on for you. And it'll give me outputs and inputs and everything that way. What that'll do is it'll run through a transfer switch, and then everything's going to kick on AC power. I could run anything that I wanted in here on AC power, but there are things like your air conditioner, depending on what you do in your solar setup, as well as your battery bank, is going to determine what all you can run on that. And so I do like it. It's nice for cooking a burrito, you know, your coffee maker, your blow dryer, anything like that, to be able to run those things and not have to fire up the generator. So I do like it for that. But to each his own. We can set them up however you want. As we move farther towards the back, you'll see this dinette set up. This is really nice, gives you another option as far as sleeping people. This will fold down and make into a bed. These cushions are sized to where they'll span out exactly that width, so you can be able to sleep this. This is about 36 inches, so this would be the equivalent of like a twin XL as far as sleeping space. We've got a 48-inch window with the blind boxes. This was also something that they added in this one. As you can see, the little engraving, little cabin with some ducks flying above it. Kind of cool. We can do a variety of different things in the engravings. I just got off the phone with a gentleman this morning that was asking. He's from Canada, likes to fish and stuff, wanted to do some killer whales and some different things on his. We can do all of that stuff. It's just one thing to consider is you can see how tall those are. They're only about 4 inches tall, and then with a 48-inch window, you're roughly about 54 inches. And so some of those, if I do them and we engrave them, it'll elongate them. And so if you do some animals and stuff, and we can split them up, but if you're interested in engravings and stuff like that, we can do them on doors, we can do them on the blind boxes. And then of course these have the pull down shades. So really nice. And these cushions, you know, they're super comfortable to sit on, but when it really comes to comfort, this is where it's at. These recliners are probably some of the most comfortable that I have sat in. They'll recline pretty well flat, and to top that off, they're right across from the wood stove. So being able to sit and watch the fire burn, there's just nothing like it. It's a cozy type feel. As I mentioned in the intro, these are built to feel like home. There's nothing more warm feeling than a wood burning stove. So that's kind of nice to have them across from the recliners. As we move to the back, this has become quite popular. This is a north and south facing queen walk around bed. And so it's got a queen size mattress up above with storage down below. And then as we come along this side, we'll see if you can see in the camera, we have drawers that pull out both sides. Now these are all dovetail drawers. So heavy duty, these are deep. These are about 12 inches deep. So you can store a lot of stuff in there. And then we've got a little step. This is something that they requested, and also gives them some storage on the outside where those storage compartment doors are. You've got a drawer here, and then a big tower cabinet. Now you can do a number of different things with these as well, whether you do a bunk bed up above. This one's got the speaker cabinet with some storage up above there. So lots of options and layouts that you can do. The next camp you'll see will actually be a split bed set up that allows them to sleep even more people. So these do have these are dimmable. So there's different settings on these to where you can change these for the brightness of your reading lights. They've got USB ports on the bottom, allowing you to charge your phones. There's also USB ports, AC plugs up here. Let me climb up here and I'll show you something else too. As I mentioned on the outside, these are set up for Starlink. So you can see this cable here coming out. This is for a Starlink setup, and that allows you to just plug in your router or your modem, and then you've got your antenna port on the outside. Set that up, and you've got Starlink just like that. So you've got a 12-volt plug if you are going to run your Starlink off of 12 volt, where this one has an inverter in it. You could run it either way, off your AC or DC. You've got more USB ports and a 12-volt plug above there too. So lots of options as far as accessories and things that you can do that way. And then same thing on this side with our tower cabinet and our drawer set up. And then as we move up along this wall, we have a bank of drawers. These are 3 big drawers. We normally would call this our entertainment area. So a lot of times this is where the TV would be mounted, whether you do a 12-volt TV or an AC powered TV, 120. So it's set up to do either one of those with all of your ports and connections there. And then back to that wood stove. Like I say, this is probably one of the coolest features about these camps. Once you've stayed in one of these, especially in the colder months, not only can you have any campsite that you ever wanted because everybody else is afraid they're going to freeze their trailers up, but you're cozy as a bug. So very cool setup there. As we move forward to the kitchen area, you have lots of overhead storage, and these are all on gas struts, so they'll hold those open, and then they also hold them closed so that as you're traveling you don't have to worry about anything falling out. This one does have the range top hood. This is vented to the outside, so you're able to pull any smoke. If you cook like I do, you're probably going to burn stuff, so that's going to come in handy. It does have the light on it as well. Now these customers wanted the 3-burner cooktop without the oven, so there's options as far as all of this stuff. These are all custom camps. You might as well get it the way you want it. And so they wanted just the cooktop. Must have thought that they wouldn't use the oven, and they probably wouldn't. So that's the thing. We want to set it up how you would want it. More drawers here. And these are all on latching drawer slides. So as you watch this go forward, it'll pull in and latch. That'll keep everything from falling out as you travel. So lots of storage below there. And then as we move forward, this also has tons of countertop space. So big, deep stainless steel single sink. This has the pull down. And then these are all household faucets and sinks. And then all of our plumbing as well, which, let's look under here. The water heater's under here. So as you can see, all of our fittings are all brass fittings. We don't use any plastic fittings, anything that way. We want this thing to last. And so all stainless steel braided hoses. Like I say, we're not interested in using cheap stuff. There's brass ball valves for both your kitchen sink as well as your outside shower. These are just all little things that are just going to make this thing last so much longer and just be an all-around better trailer for you. These are tip outs, so they allow you to keep whatever you want in there. And then this one's a 36-inch window above the sink. And then we've got AC plugs. And then these have become super popular as well. And there's not very many camps that we build now that don't have these in them. These are your pull-out pantries. So we can do a number of different configurations to where we can do pantries on both sides, multiple pantries, however you want to set it up. This one's got one upper, and then it's got one below. And then there's also a little storage area up above. As we move up to the front, this will be our bathroom. And as I mentioned, these are all hardwood, so this is an 1.5 inch thick door. Very heavy duty, as you can see, continuous hinge that runs all the way along that to support that weight. And then as we look in here, we have a mirrored medicine cabinet, little vanity sink, and then some drawers as well as some storage. You've got your porcelain toilet, an exhaust fan. This is a frosted bathroom window. And then this one, they did the black shower surround or shower door, glass shower door. This one does have the 32 by 32 inch shower pan and surround. And then this is just access for water. So as I mentioned, as you work on things, you find ways that, you know, are going to make it a lot easier for you. So you're able to access everything from the back side of the shower. If you ever had any leaks or anything, everything's accessible. One thing that is coming standard on all of our trailers now is this setup. So we can actually take this dimmer switch right here and we can dim our lights down in here. So that's a new standard feature that we do on all of them. This is also set up to where you can do that on the exterior lights as well. So whether you do, this one's set up for just the porch light. So if you do the porch light, you're able to dim that down. And then these are just all of your interior cabinet lights and your bathroom lights. So overall, I love this camp. I love this layout. I actually have another one coming up that'll be very similar to this, but doesn't have the dinette set up. It's got a pull-out bar, so I think that you're going to want to stick around on the channel, see that one through. A little bit different in the bed setup. It's got a headboard, footboard type setup, but overall, all of these camps turn out incredible. If you haven't watched the channel, I would encourage you to go check out some of the other videos, see if you can find a layout that you like, or I'd love to hear your comments on this one. What you would have in yours, what you would change, all of those things. I love hearing from the customers. So anyways, we appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.